Hello guys, so in this video here I wanted to take a look at two different type of BA15S type of reverse LED bulbs, and you can probably find these bulbs in a lot of other sockets too. The main thing is this top thing here is the same, and then they change out the socket depending on what size and such. So you probably find these in like T20 and those ones as well. But taking a look at this bulb here, you can find them a lot of places, web shops, eBay, AliExpress, and this here got 4 LEDs on top, and I have to count on the bottom. It got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. So in total there is 12 what's supposed to be Cree XBD diodes. I'm not sure if that's true, but it shows some good quality diodes with a fairly good performance. So even if they are not the real thing, they are still high performance LEDs. So in total it got 12 LEDs. And often sellers, they tend to say this here then would be a 30, that would be a 36 watt bulb, since it's got 12 times 3 watts, which is the rated watt for this bulb. So they would either say it's a 32 watt bulb, or 36 watt bulb, or some sellers, they even confuse them with like Cree XDE chips, which looks the same but they are bigger. So that would be 5 times 12, a 60 watt bulb, and some sellers, they even just put in some extra watts just to make them easier to sell. And here on the other side, here we got a bulb that uses 14 SMD 3020 LEDs, and this here bulb is only rated at 7.5 watts, but they use some of the same technology. Both of them use what seems to be a high quality front lens, but under here they have put it under glass, maybe to protect your fingers, but that only keeps the heat inside here, so there's not a big reason to do that. But this here got the diodes all around arranged a little bit differently, but sellers, good sellers would rate this at 7.5 watts, and these here are generally sold as 60, 36 watt or maybe 100 watt bulbs. So 36 watts, often people maybe calculate 100 watts, 100 lumen a watt, so 3600 lumen to maybe a 10,000 lumen bulb. And of course, if the numbers were real, this would be on fire, literally, because it would get too hot. And this here is actually rated at 864 real lumens. They have actually tested it in an integrated sphere, which not even a lot of manufacturers use, because they don't have the money, and also they don't really want to show the real performance. So 864, that is at least double, I believe. A new BA15S would be around 300-400 lumens. So here we have my power supply, and we can now test the 7.5 watt bulb first, and we get an amp draw of, at the start, 5.4 amps, and we can see it truly shines really nice and white. And we take what's supposed to be the higher lumen and wattage bulb, and we connect it, and we only see 4.6 amps of draw. And why is that? You maybe see. These here were rated from 32 watts, but it's only around, I have to calculate it later, but yeah, it was less bright than the 7.5 watt bulb. Why? So I got it calculated, and it only turned out that this bulb here was able to turn out 6.2 real watts of power. And I have to say that is a big disappointment, because you really think a bulb like this would be brighter. It seems to be out of really high quality, but the real limiting factor is that both of these have a driver inside of them, and the driver of this bulb here can only put out 6.2 watts of power. And even if it were to put out a lot higher wattage, the limiting factor then is the cooling. You can't really see a lot of cooling, so if this were to have a higher wattage, it would either melt, get on fire, or or if you had it at higher wattage with a constant current driver, the wattage would just go straight down. So you had to hook these diodes up directly into the electric source without a driver for them to actually be able to perform at that lumen. But if you do that, they would literally melt away and kill all of the diodes. And this bulb here got 7.5 watts of power, and it uses a completely different kind of LED. So it doesn't really waste on LEDs. This bulb here have been manufactured for a specific range of power, and then they have choose the right kind of diodes to fit that draw. So you only get 6 watts of real power, and if you were to actually use real Cree diodes of these, they would be 3 watts each, and then you could actually get away with just using two diodes. I can only see one benefit of using 12 instead, and that is these diodes are run at a really low current, so they would probably last long, but you have 10 diodes just for the looks and for it to be able to sell better. And also the focus points doesn't really get as good either when you have a lot of diodes. You could put 2 diodes in a much better placement and get better brightness out of it. So don't trust eBay sellers.